Who has the power? Who is silenced? Every story you read is a battleground where these questions are fought. It's never just about individuals, it's about the deep structures of society. To see them, we use critical lenses. Let's start with a Marxist lens. It tells us to follow the money. It divides the world into the bourgeoisie, those who own the factories and land, and the proletariat, the working class who sell their labor. In any text, ask yourself, is wealth shown as a reward for hard work or the result of exploitation? Think of those upstairs-downstairs narratives where masters and servants live in the same house, but in completely different worlds. Then we apply a feminist lens. This tool deconstructs the patriarchy, a social system where men hold primary power. We look for the male gaze, where the narrator or camera presents women as objects from a male perspective. We ask, does the female character have her own story, her own agency? Or is she just a damsel waiting for a hero? We listen for the voices of silenced women, wondering what they would say if they held the pen. But power isn't only in your bank account. It's also cultural capital, the knowledge that gives you status, like knowing which fork to use at a formal dinner. This invisible currency often decides who belongs. And crucially, these forces overlap. This is intersectionality. A working-class woman faces a different set of power dynamics than a wealthy woman. An author who understands this can paint a far more nuanced picture of reality. In the end, as the playwright Bertolt Brecht said, art is not a mirror held up to reality, but a hammer with which to shape it. By using these lenses, we see how authors use that hammer, either to reinforce the status quo or smash it.